My husband had been secretly meeting my son-in-law. Dorothy Reed first noticed something odd in early March. Her husband Frank stepped out to the back porch with his phone and did not come back for a long time. When Dorothy walked toward the porch, he came in quickly and put the phone in his pocket. Who was that? Dennis. Dennis was Frank's oldest friend. Nothing unusual. Dorothy let it go. 3 days later Frank went out. Where? Going to see Dennis. Again. We hadn't seen each other in a while. Now we keep meeting up. She let that go too. But over the following month something felt off. Frank was going out frequently. Twice a week, sometimes 3 times. Always around 2 in the afternoon, always back before dinner. He said he was seeing Dennis. But that seemed like a lot even for close friends. One afternoon Dorothy glanced at Frank's phone on the kitchen counter and saw a notification. It was not from Dennis. It was from Kevin. Dorothy stopped. Kevin, her son-in-law, her daughter Linda's husband. She picked up the phone while Frank was in the bathroom. Her hands were unsteady. The message said, "Hey, where should we meet today?" Dorothy set the phone down. He had been seeing Kevin, not Dennis, his son-in-law, twice a week, for over a month. She sat down. She did not know what it meant. But it was wrong. Something was wrong. Frank had no reason to be meeting Kevin that often. They were not unfriendly, but they were not close. Holiday dinners and the occasional call. That was their relationship. And he had been lying to her about where he was going. Dorothy thought about calling Linda. Then she stopped. She did not know if Linda was aware. If she was not, a phone call could only make things worse. She sat with it for several days. Maybe it was money. Maybe Kevin needed help and was too embarrassed to say so directly. But then why keep it from Dorothy? And then one thought would not leave her. How were Linda and Kevin doing? The last time she had seen Linda was a month ago, after the holidays. Linda had been quiet, not like herself. Dorothy had asked if she was feeling all right. Linda said she was just tired. Dorothy had let it go at the time. But what if? The weight in her chest got heavier. That night she lay awake beside Frank for a long time. The next morning she said his name. Frank. You've been going out a lot. I have. You said you were seeing Dennis. Frank paused over his breakfast. Right. But you've been seeing Kevin. A long silence. Frank set down his fork. You saw it. The notification came up on your phone. Frank said nothing. Are Linda and Kevin having problems? Frank looked at her for a long time. Dorothy. Yes. I can't tell you everything right now. Let me see Kevin today and then I'll come home and tell you everything tonight. That was the most frightening answer he could have given her. Not a flat denial. Not a quick reassurance. Just I can't tell you everything right now. Dorothy spent the morning unable to do anything. She barely touched her lunch. She turned the television on and off. She sat and stood and sat again. Just before 7 Frank came home. He looked at her, sat on the couch. She sat across from him. Tell me, he exhaled. Linda and Kevin have been having a hard time since last fall. Dorothy felt it drop through her. How bad? Kevin brought up divorce. Once. She could not speak for a moment. Divorce. Does Linda know? Yes. Linda is hurting, but she doesn't want to give up. Kevin is the one who's been running on empty. Why didn't you tell me? Because if I told you, you'd call Linda. And that would make Kevin pull back further. And I thought I might be able to do something. What could you possibly do? Meet with him. Listen. That's all. Dorothy looked at her husband. Just listen. Yes. Kevin doesn't have anywhere to put it. He can't say it to his friends. He certainly can't say it to Linda's parents. But he said it to me. He called one night, said he was struggling, so I said come meet me. What's been going on? Frank thought for a moment. Kevin's job has been grinding him down for years. He's been coming home with nothing left. Linda felt it. That distance accumulated. They stopped talking well. When you stop talking well, you start hurting each other. Dorothy's eyes were wet. So you've been listening. That's really all it's been. Frank looked out the window. Dorothy, I've been there. When the kids were small. Work was brutal. I was coming home hollowed out. You took the brunt of it. You remember how bad it got. She did. You know who reached me. When I was about where Kevin is now. She was quiet. Dennis. Dennis sat with me over and over. Told me not to walk away from it. Said the hard part would pass. Said go home and be better to her. That's what brought me back." Dorothy could not speak. 40 years ago, she had been so lonely in those years. Frank barely talking, retreating to the bedroom the moment he got home. She had cried more than she ever told anyone. And then one season it shifted. She never knew why. "Dennis, you're doing for Kevin what Dennis did for you." Frank said quietly, "I received something from Dennis. I don't know where we'd be without it. So I'm doing what I can." Dorothy was crying. "Is Kevin any better?" "Much better. In the beginning I thought he might actually leave. Now it's different. He says he's been trying harder at home." "Does Linda know he's been meeting you?" "No. They both have pride." It wasn't easy for Kevin to say any of this to his father-in-law. The first time he called, do you know what his voice sounded like? What? Empty. Like the life had gone out of it. He said he felt like a bad person. That he hadn't been good enough to Linda. When I heard that I thought of my 30s. I was him. Dorothy sat with all of it. The anger that had been building for days went somewhere else. She had been angry at Frank for lying. But now she understood why. "Why couldn't you tell me?" "Because you would have called Linda. And right now that would do more harm than good. The best thing is to let it run its course. You know I can't stay quiet about things. I know exactly that about you. And you still didn't tell me." "I still didn't tell you." They looked at each other. Dorothy laughed. The kind of laugh that has tears in it. "Frank, yes. If Dennis hadn't been there for you back then, where do you think we'd be?" Frank was quiet for a moment. "I don't know. But here's the thing about Dennis. He took my side and took your side at the same time. He made me understand what you were going through. That's what moved me." Dorothy held that. 2 months passed. Linda called. "Mom, we want to come see you next week. Can we do dinner together?" Dorothy closed her eyes when she heard that we. Together. "Yes. Come. What do you want to eat?" "Whatever you two want. It doesn't matter to me." She went and found Frank after she hung up. "Linda and Kevin are coming together next week." Frank smiled quietly. "Good. It's because of you. Kevin did it. I just sat with him." "You held on to him." Frank said nothing. The following week they came. Dorothy watched them come in through the front door. Something was different. Kevin took Linda's jacket from her and hung it up. A small thing. But Dorothy noticed. At dinner Frank and Kevin's eyes met briefly across the table. Neither of them said anything. But there was something in that look. Dorothy thought that is what two men built quietly together. Without words. Without anyone knowing. After the meal Kevin offered to do the dishes. Dorothy said she would handle it. Kevin said he wanted to. While Kevin was in the kitchen Frank slipped in after him. The two of them stood side by side at the sink. Not talking. Just side by side. Dorothy watched from the doorway. Frank was passing something on. Something Dennis had given him 40 years ago. And it had made its way here, to this kitchen, to this quiet evening. And it was going to reach Linda. That was how family worked. Flowing without words. If this story reached something in you today, perhaps someone close to you is carrying something alone right now. You may not need words to know it. Reach toward them today. One small gesture can change the course of someone's life. If these stories matter to you, please subscribe. We bring you a new one every week from the quiet places where love does its work without being seen.